Good morning, you single ladies out there. Hope you're doing good. All right, so this is a second follow up to a third video topic I've done, and that's single women in their 40s and 50s. For some reason, I get slack on that topic, and most of you agree. Most of you have responded in a well-rounded manner and said you're right, and you've given me your 2 cents. And then there's a few that just say this video is upsetting, this video is disturbing or discouraging, and you know you should change the way you dress, and on and on and on. And I'm thinking, okay, number one, I'm not single, I'm married. Number two, I'm giving you facts based on my experience of working with men and women in their 40s and 50s. So you cannot deny that I have these facts up here, or I've seen them with my own eyes. I've experienced it. I'm telling you based off my experience. Number three, or third, I'm in my mid 40s. So when you see these videos and you're thinking, this guy's young, he doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm speaking of my age group. So, but you can't win them all, right? You cannot win them all. And it seems to me that most of you do get it, but the ones that don't get it are exactly the ones that I'm referring to in the videos, because they're in their mid 40s, mid 50s, right? They're single for a reason, and yet they have not figured that out. Or they're hurt by what I'm saying, because it's the truth, and they realize that I'm talking about them, right? So you can't win. Most of you women out there, most of you guys out there, you do get it, and you see my point. You're like, you know what? You're right. I try to be well balanced. I try to be rounded individual that just opens a mind, right? That sees things from different points of view. But you can't win them all. You try to give people advice, they just don't want to take it. And I feel like that's the day and age we live in now. Nobody likes to take advice from anyone, right? They look at you and they're like, who the F are you? Or you can't tell me what to do. Instead of engaging in conversation and saying, and I'll say this, I think it's also your delivery method, right? If you go up to somebody and say, you're a jackass, instead of saying, hey man, you could be a little bit nicer, saying it that way, right? Instead of saying, hey man, you're a jackass, you're not gonna get a good reception from that person. But nowadays people do not like to take advice, and that's another reason why I don't do my motivation, inspiration, my word of the day type of videos, because most people don't want to hear it, right? They don't want to take in your advice and say, hey, you know what, I could be a better person, I could try harder, I could forgive, things like that. People are too busy trying to figure out their own life that they don't want to hear your advice, and that's okay. The last thing that I'll say is just that if you are in your 40s and 50s and you are single, take a look at your lifestyle, your choices, your decision making, and maybe some of them have been bad, and now you're reaping the benefits of those bad choices, and you got nobody to blame but yourself, right? I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes. I'll be the first to tell you. I've learned from those mistakes. Do I think of bad mistakes still? Yeah, they pop in my head, but then I also think about the outcome, the consequences of those decisions and those actions. And to add on to that, I'll just say this: and if people, whether we're talking about dating or we're talking about interviewing, if people would reveal the truth up front and answer questions, if they popped up, it would ruin that relationship as far as the interview goes, you getting that job, or you going to bed with that person that night you meet them, or the week later, or whatever, right? Let me explain. If you're at a job interview, you're trying to stay on point. You're trying to impress that individual and say, hey, I can do this, I can do that. I come to work, I'm responsible, reliable, dependable, etc. And on and on and on, right? I've done this, I've done that. I've worked at this place. I've held a job for, 10 years here, 5 years there. You're trying to sell, to say, hey, I need, I want to impress you that you're going to offer me the job, right? Dating. If you meet somebody in a bar, at an event location, a wedding, through mutual friends, whatever, and you reveal all your cards and you say, well, I'm an angry person, I'm on medication, I have this disease, I like to cheat on women, I don't like to be responsible and pull my own weight in the relationship. Do you think that relationship's going to go anywhere if you revealed your cards and say, hey, this is the kind of person I am, right? Hell no. She ain't going to go home with you. The idea is to sell it, right? The idea is to meet someone and say, hey, I'm going to impress her. I'm going to tell her I'm going to show her all the good qualities of me. I'm going to show her all the good things that I can do, right? And she's going to look at me, I'm going to look at her, and we're going to be like, hey, there's a spark there, right? And then once we get together and get down the line at some point, I'll tell her, hey, I don't like to be around people. I'm on medication. Yeah, sometimes I like to sleep with other women, and on and on and on. You think, looking back, she would have said, if had I known that, I would have said hell no to this guy or woman. People don't want to hear that. People want what they want now, and they want that instant gratification. And then down the line, when the shit doesn't turn out, and I try to give you some advice, nobody wants to hear, I told you so. All right, guys, you have a good day. Red out.